I'm Tyler McClanahan. I'm the executive chef at the Austin Country Club. In this episode of Food Connections, I'll be making beer-battered walleye. If you ever wondered how great beer batter is made, I'll show you a simple way. Learn how we make it. It's very, very easy. Join us on the next Food Connections.
Program funding made possible in part by the Paul and Joanne Warleen Family Fund at the Austin Area Foundation.
Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of Food Connections. Today we are featuring Tyler McClanahan, the executive chef at the Austin Country Club, and he's going to be cooking up some wonderful things for us here. We're very excited. So welcome, Tyler.
Thank you so
very
much.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for having me.
So we're very excited about your recipe you're going to share with us today. And so first of all, can I just ask you, how long have you been at the Country Club?
So I've been at Austin Country Club here for about a year.
Okay. Yep. And how did you happen to get started in cooking?
So it kind of started from a young age. I watched my parents both cook growing up, and they both kind of loved being in the kitchen, and they took turns growing up, right?
All right.
What kind of sparked my passion, I guess, for cooking was kind of watching my dad. Every episode, like every time he cooked was like an episode of Chopped, where it was, what do we have, what can we make, what can we do, and my menus kind of emulate that, right? I'm very kind of familiar with that, so growing up there. Yeah.
That's great. So you learned from the master, more or less, at least according to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, good for you. And then now do you incorporate a lot of those things that you learned into your own dishes and your own creations now then?
Yeah, absolutely. Still kind of the what can we make out of this kind of type attitude, thinking back to kind of what my dad would do and kind of some stuff like that, and just making it happen.
Well, I think you had said that the recipe you're going to do today happens to be one of your dad's famous and favorite recipes, am I right?
It is. This is Papa McClanahan's beer batter.
All right, very good. I can't wait to try it, let me tell you. So why don't we get right into it, and you can show us how this comes about, and you can create your magic, okay?
Sounds great. We'll start with the batter first.
All right.
Perfect. Just got a mixing bowl here.
Now, what do you have set up here? What is this?
So this is our mise en place. And
what is it called again?
Mise en place.
Mise en place.
Yep, it's a French term for basically your prep, your setup. Kind of helps you stage everything, get it here first. That way when you go to cook, you can just focus on cooking.
You can just grab the ingredient you want, add it in. You don't have to go searching or going through all this. Very nice. So you could actually, I don't know if you do, but you could actually have this measured out exactly what you need ahead of time to save yourself time during your cooking, can't you?
Yes, sir. Yep.
All right, very good.
Perfect.
All right, let's go.
Well, we will start with the dry ingredients first. So we will add our flour first. Thank you.
All right.
Then we will add in, here we've got our baking powder, onion powder, garlic powder, and salt. We'll go with those next. Thank you. Just make sure those are nice and mixed together so we got the dry mix. And next we will start with the wet ingredients. So we will go with the milk first. About a cup there.
You could use whole or 2%, whatever you want.
Yes, sir. Yep, whatever you got in the fridge.
All right, sounds good.
And then we'll do the beer. I'm using a light beer here, but you could incorporate whatever flavor you want in there. If you're more of a fan of the IPAs, you can absolutely throw those in there.
All right.
So we'll kind of get those going a little bit and get that mixed up.
Now, is this the batter that you use for your dishes at the Country Club?
Yes, everything we do beer battered from scratch comes with our secret recipe here.
So that's where we go to get the good stuff. I get it. Very good, very good.
Yes, sir. So just want to make sure we get as many lumps out of here as possible.
Sure.
And then we want to finish this off with the eggs.
Okay.
So the 2 whole eggs. Get those mixed in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll finish it off with a little bit of canola oil.
All right.
It's going to give it kind of that velvety texture we're looking for.
Sure. Great.
If you're ever making this batter, the key with this batter is to have a very, very, very thin coating. So it's a very thin batter. It almost seems like it's too thin, but it works out in the end.
Well, it's almost, well, not quite as, I mean, it's thinner than cake batter, certainly, but it's not, it's almost more like crepe batter or something.
Yeah. Yep.
A little thinner like that. So, okay, that's
simple,
good to know.
Sure. Absolutely. So we'll get rid of this over here. Now that our batter's kind of done, we'll set that aside. And next we'll go into preparing the walleye. Before I do that, I'm going to show kind of a garnish we can use to make it look a little nicer, a fancier cut on a lemon, if you will.
All right. Yeah, it's nice to have your nice looking plate.
Absolutely. So we'll start off by cutting off the ends.
It's appealing.
Absolutely. And without stabbing through our hand here, we'll go to the other side completely and all the way down. We leave the knife in, set it on its side.
You didn't cut through?
Nope, not all the way
Just push
through.
through.
Just to the end. We take a knife, cut all the way down, flip it, down again. And then we can safely pull this knife out and set it aside. We've got kind of a nice little garnish for the top of the plate here.
Oh boy,
So we'll set that aside.
that's really nice for a fish dish.
Yeah. Elevate us a little bit.
Because you're going to be making, what is it now? I'm sorry, we didn't mention that before.
So the beer-battered walleye with our homemade chips is what we'll be
That's
doing.
right.
Yep.
With Papa McClanahan's famous beer batter.
Papa McClanahan's
All
favorite.
right, good enough.
Absolutely. And then when we're gonna go prepare the fish here, a trick, kind of tip for people at home when we're going to our cutting board would be to place a wet towel. So we just soak this in some water. If we throw this down on the table first, get that nice and even, and then we go and we set this guy down. What this is gonna do is make it so your board doesn't slide. It's nice and planted.
Because they, as everybody knows, they do slide all over your
chasing your
countertops.
fish.
Oh, gee. And then it's a hazard, you know, as far as when you're using knives.
Absolutely. So next we'll cut the walleye here. So we are using wild caught Canadian walleye. A couple whole fillets, just with the bones out. You could leave these whole and go ahead and dip them right in and fry them. For this purpose, the smaller fryer, kind of the at-home fryers people would have, we're gonna kind of cut this down. So we'll just cut a nice piece here. We got two nice pieces there.
Is this the walleye you use at the country club?
Yes, yep,
All
same
right.
walleye we use.
Good
Yep.
enough.
Yep,
They're nice, yeah.
absolutely. We'll do the same, got a nice cut there. Perfect. So these are all boneless too. You got none of the ribs in there, anything like that. Okay. So we'll set that aside. Now for cooking, when we do the chips, we always want to do the chips first because they can kind of sit and hold. We don't want to do the fish first and let the batter get soggy. So we'll start out next by doing some of our homemade chips.
All right.
With our homemade chips, we just slice the potatoes very thin. You can use a mandolin or something like that, or you can use
Yeah.
a special tool that my dad's got from the 1950s.
That's
tell you.
great. That's good. I can't imagine what that is to tell you the truth.
He's got it. It's a little old school antique mandolin, and he swears by it. Says it's the only thing he can use, and his actually broke a while back, and he went and bought a few more from eBay. He was pretty jazzed to find those.
Boy, I'll bet he was. It's his great tool, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So the key to these to have a nice crispy potato chip is to soak them overnight in salt water.
All right.
So we let those sit for 24 hours in salt water, drain all the water off, and that's kind of going to give you that extra little crisp. It draws the starch out.
Oh, sure.
Yep. Perfect. Well,
All right.
we'll get a couple baskets down here.
Yeah, these are nice and thin.
Yes,
Now
absolutely.
you've got what kind of oil in there?
So today we're just using straight canola oil.
And it's at what temperature would you set it at for this?
350 degrees.
Okay,
And
perfect.
for the purpose of the fish, the batter cooks perfectly at 350, so I'm trying to maintain that temperature. as much
Right,
as we
right.
can. Perfect. We'll start off with some of these chips. And the key is just making sure we kind of squeeze a lot of that water out of there.
Oh, sure.
And put the basket down first, and then we go straight into the oil with these guys, obviously as carefully as possible.
And you don't have to coat these with anything. You're just going right in the oil.
Correct, yep, straight into
Hot
the oil.
oil, okay.
Yep. You can kind of hear they'll cook quick with as thin as
sure
they're
can.
sliced, yeah. And if you've got a bigger outdoor kind of fryer, you can do these things by the handful and just drop
Sure.
in kind of a handful.
Or, you know, you could do it in a pan on your stove.
Absolutely,
You know,
yeah.
you can certainly deep fry
Yes, if you got a
with
nice
that, you
thermometer
know.
on there, yeah.
Sure.
Once we get these in here, the other thing the salt water does soaking overnight is kind of helps them so they don't stick together, they don't clump in the fryer.
Oh,
Yep.
that's good to know.
So you just want to mix them around a little bit.
Sure. Now, when you soak these overnight, do you soak them in your refrigerator?
Yes, yep, you
Okay.
want to keep them cold.
All right, good to
Keep
know.
them cold, keep them crisp, and draw out that starch.
Right, right.
So we'll let these go. They'll be about 3-4 minutes. We'll let these guys roll.
Okay. And of course, you got to have chips with your fish, right? I mean,
100%.
that's just that just goes so well together.
Absolutely. And store-bought chips don't do it justice.
No.
Gotta have the nice homemade chips.
No, they never do they?
No. When we go up north on our family fishing trip, I think we go through about 20 baskets of these chips before anybody even touches fish.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, it's one of those things you can just pick up and walk around eating, you know. And
Yep.
And great.
They are a hit. And this beer batter too, it's very universal. So when we do our fish fries too, it's great for chicken strips, cheese curds, onion rings. It's a very universal batter that coats to just about anything.
See, that's great. Yeah, if you use it at the country club on all your battered dishes, then it'll go with anything, sure.
Absolutely.
I see they're starting to get a little
starting to get
crispy
crisp
around the
here,
edges.
We'll look for them to be a nice golden brown by the time they're done here.
And they're kind of waving a little bit or crinkling just a little bit like potato chips, you know.
Yeah, just like a nice thin chip.
Gosh, they look good.
Yeah, so I'll let those go for a minute. With some of these smaller fryers too, sometimes it's a little tricky with the temperature. When you drop these cold chips in there, kind of like an ice cube into the oil, right?
It sure lowers that, doesn't it?
So, yeah, so when you're cooking an industrial fryer, it goes a little faster. These homemade ones, you just gotta be patient with them.
Now, I know someone who has a small fryer like this that uses it for camping trips.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, I mean, because then it's portable to take
Absolutely.
with you camping, in your camper, in your car or van or whatever. So,
Absolutely.
These are kind of are very handy.
Yeah, absolutely. You can kind of see they're starting to crisp up there. We're
They
gonna
are.
wait and look for a little bit of golden brown to make sure they're nice. And when you get them sliced nice and thin the way they are, it's almost just like biting into air. It's a nice thin, crispy chip.
And like I said, they're shaping, curling just a little bit, just like potato chips that you buy out of the bag, but better, of course.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, come on.
But yeah, they do. They take on that nice natural potato chip form. Almost,
Yeah, they sure do.
Yeah.
I love potato chips. This will be a treat. How often does anyone get homemade potato chips? Come on.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to find them nowadays.
Yeah, and you also do these at the country club, am I right?
When we run our fish fry specials, yep.
Oh, I see.
Yep.
Okay.
So typically on Fridays we'll run our walleye fish fry special.
Oh, sure.
We'll run these with it.
I'll bet that's popular.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, walleye isn't offered a whole lot, so I think that's great.
Yeah, a lot of people default for cod because it's a slightly cheaper fish, but
Sure.
with it being Minnesota, you can't go wrong with walleye.
Oh boy, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
We were just talking earlier about walleye fishing and things like that. And, oh yeah,
Absolutely. So now that you can see they took on that golden brown, we'll pull these guys up.
very nice.
We'll let those rest for just a second here.
That didn't take long at all.
No, let's shake off some of the excess oil. Then we'll go straight into a bowl here. And then the key to making these excellent is a healthy portion of seasoning salt.
Oh,
So getting these guys nice and coated in the seasoning salt.
and right when they come out, that's gonna help it stick a little bit, I suppose, huh?
Yep. So yeah, if you catch them right after they come out, you can kind of see that it sticks on there and coats real nice.
Yum.
With these guys, you can keep them warm, cold. They'll be good if they sit for hours. They stay pretty crispy and fresh for quite a while.
Oh, they look so good.
Absolutely.
And nice and crisp.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes. I have another tip for you today. Most kitchens have numerous knives that we use and at home and in your restaurants and things like that. I just want to show you two of my favorites that get used all the time. The first, and very common, is a chef's knife. This is your biggest and probably heaviest knife. And it is, we used to call them butcher knife. And so this is a large blade, and it is used, it's great for like cutting squashes and things like that, your heavy duty work, right? Cutting large pieces of meat and things. And you can see the blade is kind of curves up at the tip. So you can use this real well, like if you're chopping with a rocking motion on your cutting board, things like that. So that's a very important knife. Now my favorite knife, this is called a Santoku knife. Santoku means 3 values. And the 3 things that this is known for is slicing, dicing, and mincing. So you can see the bottom of this blade goes straight across. And there are small grooves, and that helps you cut through whatever you're cutting. All these little grooves on both sides of this knife. And this is just great, again, and it's a little bit lighter knife, and it's very well balanced. You don't need to spend a lot of money on your knives necessarily for home, but you don't want to get the real tinny, real light, nothing knives. You want to have them a little bit of weight and have a good balance, and that's what this Sentoku does. I use this and a paring knife at home for everything. And it's just very handy. It's a nice size, and it'll do everything for you.
Introducing the brand new KSMQ website, complete with more information on the programs you know and love, like Our Town, Farm Connections, and Off 90. Catch full episodes and seasons past and present of your favorite KSMQ programs. Search the KSMQ schedule for your favorite upcoming shows. Or sign up for our weekly e-newsletter. Watch live streams of the KSMQ HD or KSMQ Create channels. Watch on all your favorite devices, however you want, whenever you want, wherever you want. It all starts here at ksmq.org.
Next, we'll work on getting our fish dropped in.
Okay.
So, always important to change gloves, avoid any cross-contamination anywhere.
Right, that is important. I like to see that at home.
Absolutely.
It's something you don't have to worry as much about, but when you're, when you're cooking for someone else, other people and stuff like that, it's very important, isn't it?
Absolutely. One of the cool things about this batter, as opposed to some of the other batters, a lot of time you see they've got the fry station where it's you're going from your liquid to your flour to your batter. And in this one, you don't. It's a perfect batter. It coats really nicely, so you don't even need any flour. You don't need any eggs.
That's nice, because in that case, then you use one gloved hand for the dry and one gloved hand for the wet.
Correct.
Batter, is that right? But yeah, this is kind of nice that you don't have to. This is just one step once you've got your batter, your beer batter made.
Absolutely. So we'll go ahead and get those in there. Get them coated real nice. And you can kind of see with the batter being thin, we want it to run off. We don't want to have a ton of extra batter.
All right.
And so then with this application, we'll do the same thing. We'll start by putting our baskets down.
Okay.
We'll get the fish right at the edge and try to get all the excess almost so you can see the fish through there, right?
Sure you
so
can.
You can kind of see it. And then when you're dropping these, the key is to not let go right away. That's how they stick to your baskets. So you kind of wave it around that oil for a second, then slowly lay it down in there.
Sure.
And that'll be kind of nice. Go ahead and do the same thing again. Get those dropped. We'll start out with those two.
Okay.
And then when it comes to these guys, they're pretty self-reliant. About halfway through, I'd say about a minute and a half in, you want to just flip it over to make sure that the batter's getting kind of even browning on both sides there. But as you can see with it being a thin batter already right away on the top, it starts to brown pretty quick.
Well, and it's puffing up. You can see the batter puffing up.
Yep.
And the fish has risen to the top.
Yep.
And so it's getting a little airy.
Yep. And as long as you have those pieces of fish kind of nice and thin, it's really easy to tell when they're done. Basically, when if you're at 350 and you go 2-3 minutes aside and you get that nice golden brown, your fish will be cooked almost.
Oh, all right.
So now we can see it's brown a little bit. We'll want to go ahead and flip those over.
Oh, nice.
Absolutely. Get that nice even coat.
Boy, they're looking good.
Absolutely.
I can't wait.
Yeah, and like I said, a great batter for everything. Chicken strips, onion rings, cheese curds.
I was going to ask,
like
onion rings that work? Yeah.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
cheese curds, yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, come on.
Absolutely.
Well, then while you've got the batter made and you've got the oil hot,
Yep.
why not do some variety things, right? Like, you were doing two today, but you could do some variety things for the family.
Up north, we usually get a little weird. My dad will tell the kids to kind of bring what they want to. So I've seen deep fried Oreos, I've seen Twinkies, I've seen gummy bears. Don't try gummy bears.
Deep fried Oreos are wonderful, though. But yeah, that's great. That's
Yep.
a good idea. Oh yeah, kids would have a lot of fun.
The gummy bears turned into a sticky oil mess.
Of course, they're
Wouldn't
gonna try
recommend that
gummy
one.
bears. Come on, but yeah, I think I might pass it.
Yeah. So then while this is getting ready, actually what we can do is we can go ahead and move on to our plating here.
All right.
So, wouldn't mind here. Just gotta put the plate down, and then I gotta grab a spoon here. I forgot already.
Right behind you in the first drawer.
Perfect. Sorry. Perfect. Then for the plating, we will take our house-made tartar sauce.
Oh,
now
all
I do
right.
have some of the ingredients here to show. I did make it ahead of time, but we've got mayo, we've got sweet relish
Oh,
we go with, and then
Sweet rather than like the dill relish.
yep, lemon juice,
Okay.
and then a little bit of salt and pepper. And then what kind of sets ours apart a little bit different is chopped capers.
Oh.
And the chopped capers kind of give it that extra little
Little zing.
just that
doesn't
little
it?
zing, that little acid bite. Yep.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yep. So we got those in there. So
Okay.
for the plating, what we'll do, we'll kind of take a nice dollop of that. We'll hit that up on the outside, and then a good swoosh. Just a nice little
all right.
swoosh up there. Yep. Very easy to. You can show off to your friends, kind of make it look a little fancier.
Oh, sure, sure.
So now what we can do is we can take the chips. We can go back. We'll put a nice pile of those right in the middle of the plate. Just kind of get those down there. And then by that time, our fish looks great.
Perfect.
Yep. So we're sitting at the
Okay,
nice
Wes.
golden brown. So that's kind of right where we're going to pull it. We'll let it rest for a second. One of the best things to do is to take it out of this basket and throw it into just we use paper towels most of the time, a paper towel lined
Good idea.
tray here, just kind of soak up some of that extra grease.
Now these little crispies left in the basket are like chef's little
Those are
treats
chef
because
snacks,
they're
yep.
they're really good and nice and crispy little things there.
Yep, little chef snacks.
Yeah.
Fried beer batter.
Chef snack, that's a good one. Yes, darn right.
Absolutely. So then what we'll do while that's kind of soaking a little bit in the paper towel is we'll get some of our garnish ready. So
Oh, sure.
for today we've just got some fresh parsley. So we'll just kind of get a sprig of the fresh parsley off. We'll take one of our nice lemons that we cut earlier, kind of get that there. And then for this, we'll just take the fish and we'll place it right on top of the, so we'll show off that nice batter.
Oh boy.
Kind of just go right on top of that in a nice pile.
Now is this gonna impress your friends or what? Come on.
And then just for fun here, we'll throw a little bit of that green right on there and just kind of give it a nice.
Oh my gosh. Tyler, that is wonderful. And easy.
Yeah, something very
Like,
easy for everyone to do at home.
Anyone can do it at home, right?
Absolutely. And my hope is to kind of share. I think everyone in Minnesota's had a fish frying experience of fish fry.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
We've
yeah.
all had it. And
Right,
everyone
right.
goes up to the cabins and does all their fishing. So sharing a little bit of nostalgia, a little bit of a nice recipe for people to pass down.
That is it's just a great idea. And that's just a beautiful plate. That's just really amazing.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate this. It's been a lot of fun and learned a lot. I learned a lot today. You know, I've done this for a long time, but I learned something new from every chef that we work
Appreciate
with.
that.
You know what I mean? I really do.
It's the beauty of cooking. You never know it all.
Oh, gee whiz, yeah. You might think so, but no, that's very true. I learn something from everybody every day.
Absolutely.
That's right. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you,
Really
sir.
appreciate that,
Absolutely.
Tyler.
Thank you.
Yes, you bet. I've got a little tip for you today. I don't know if everyone knows, but honey is the one food in the world that will never, ever, ever spoil, ever. So sometimes when we've got it in the jar or the little squirt bottle in our cupboard, it gets all crystallized in the bottom. So you think, oh, I can't use that, I have to throw it away. You do not have to throw it away. Set that jar or bottle in a bowl of warm or hot water for 10 to 15 minutes. It'll come right back. You can use it just how you normally would. It'll be nice and smooth again. Until next time. Hi, I've got a great tip for everyone on how to use the little small flour tortillas. Put one or two in your toaster and watch it. You don't want it to get too brown. Watch in there and you will see it puff up and it'll be hollow in the middle. Pop those out, take it from the side and put a slit in it with a knife, just partway through, and then it will open up just like a pita bread. You can fill that with whatever you want. You can make like a taco pita in there, taco meat, cheese, tomatoes, whatever you like. You can fill it with guacamole, with chicken salad, with anything you like, and it's a great way to just carry around that sandwich. It's not falling all out like a tortilla or something will.
One of the best tips I can offer you today is just to remember to have fun. A lot of people forget that cooking is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be hard, not supposed to be a chore. So all the trial and error in the world you could possibly do to create dishes and just make them your own. On top of that, a good way to do that is just finding existing recipes or recipes you might know about, trying them the way they are, the way they're supposed to be, and then kind of adding your own twists and your own turns. A lot of chefs do that where they tweak things to kind of make them their own dish.